What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. So just like every other year, 2016 has gone by very quick, I would say. I mean, yeah, we're already in December, the last month of the year. It's pretty crazy. I would say, looking back at this year in terms of gaming, it's been an okay year. Like, there's been some really standout titles, but overall I feel like we've really not had, like 2015 was a much, I guess, better year with just a lot more big games actually coming out, I feel. And I feel the same way about 2017. Like, it's really looking like, the next few years we're gonna get some big hits again. 2016's been relatively calm, I would say, but like I said, there have been some standout titles, so that's what I want to talk about in this video. This is going to be my top 5 games of the year, 2016. Now here's the quick catch, I will not be talking about my game of the year yet, because I'm actually going to be saving that for a separate video, although I'm pretty sure I won't really have to tell you what that's, what game that's going to be. Anyway, for now, let's simply get into my actual top 5, and I'm gonna immediately start off here with the number 5, which could maybe be a bit of a controversial one. At least, many people look at this as being one of the whatever games of the year in some way, and a bit of a disappointment. I, of course, was a big fan of the series already, and this second game, although it did slightly disappoint me, I was still very happy with the, happy with the overall result, as in, I had a good time playing it. I really enjoyed myself. Game I'm talking about is Mirror's Edge Catalyst. What can I say about this game? The story, they rebooted it completely, of course, and I don't think that the story was even in any way better than the first game, sadly. Of course, they did go into the slightly more generic Ubisoft open world approach, but that gameplay, like, it's really that gameplay that is so fun to me, and that's why, I played this game probably about 30 or 40 hours this year. That's what I put into it, and I had a blast, nonetheless, and I was surprised by some of the open world, level designs and stuff, some really, I guess, sneaky spots that you kind of uncover where you're like, oh man, they actually put quite a lot of detail into this world. I was very surprised by that, and overall, I just had a blast, and I would still be like, if you've never played the first Mirror's Edge, and therefore also not the second one, really give it a try with this second one, because it's a complete reboot. You don't have to have played the first game to understand what's going on here and stuff, and it's just, the gameplay is so much fun and unique, that first-person free-running gameplay. I had a blast with it, just like I did with the first game, and in that way, I still thought that Mirror's Edge Catalyst is a game for me to recommend, and I gave it an 8 in my review, and yeah, it's a good game. I think it's actually, in some ways, still a little underrated this gen, or maybe underappreciated in terms of the reviews and stuff. I thought it got too low scores compared to some other games that got much higher scores for doing, less stuff well than Mirror's Edge Catalyst does. So that's just my personal opinion. Number 5, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Then we get to the number 4. Now, this is pretty much a very safe bet. Battlefield 1, I mean, what can I say? Battlefield 4 already was, to me, the go-to multiplayer game this generation. And when they announced Battlefield 1, of course, there was massive hype. They went into a new direction with the World War I stuff. Made me, although very excited, also a little skeptical. Can they pull it off? Well, in the end, when we got the final product, yes, this is once again going to be that go-to multiplayer game for the next few years for me, for sure. I haven't even played it like that much because some other, big games came out right after, so I still need to play quite a lot of it, but from what I've played so far, it's just been amazing. It's the next big Battlefield, the next big game that I'm gonna be playing for years to come. I know that already, and in that way, I'm very satisfied with Battlefield 1. That's my number 4 game of 2016. Then we get to number 3, and I'm a little frustrated that I put this at number 3. Like, I'm a little disappointed that I had to put it there, because I feel like I really wanted it to be my number 2, and it could be if it wasn't from some really, that's what's so frustrating, is like the frustration actually comes from the game itself, and I'm talking here about The Last Guardian. Like, this is my thing. I recently reviewed it, of course, and I made it very clear that the game just has 2 glaring massive issues, which is the controls that don't feel well, don't feel responsive and stuff, and it has some big camera issues. If it wasn't for that though, like if the game had done those 2 things very well, this would have been a near masterpiece in my opinion. I'm serious. I really, really loved The Last Guardian. Like the story between the boy and the massive creature was told so well. Trico, I should just call him, I guess, instead of, that's a little disrespectful to just call him massive creature or whatever, but yeah, I mean, they did such a good job with that. Of course, the game went through development hell. It took them 10 years to actually make this game, but it pulled, like, they they pulled it off in the end. It was worth it for sure. This really is a special story that they pulled off amazingly well. Well, I was very impressed by it. If it wasn't for the super frustrating gameplay at times, I mean, once again, I would have just wanted to call this game a near masterpiece, but it definitely isn't that, because those two issues that it does have are sadly very, very apparent and do impact your experience of the game quite a lot. But nonetheless, I would highly recommend you all to play it. I did in my review give it there for an 8, even though I gave, for example, Battlefield 1 a 9, but simply because, you know, yeah, it's because of that I couldn't give it more than an 8, because of those issues. But otherwise, this is an experience that I would recommend to anyone. You need to play The Last Guardian. Seriously, it's very much worth it. Then we get to the number 2. This was kind of a sleeper hit to me. I mean, I really did not expect to be liking this game as much. I was a pretty big fan of the series. I had played the other games on PS3, but I'm talking here about Ratchet Clank. It was a great reboot, you know. I never played the original Ratchet Clank on the PlayStation 2, so I can't speak for like the differences between that version and this one, but I just had a blast with it. It was really like, it brought back the fun in games for me. The gameplay was just so smooth, you know, story-wise and stuff. There really wasn't a whole lot to it. It's just a very Pixar-like kind of, you know, story in that way. So not something that was super gripping or something to me at all. But at the same time, the graphics were amazing. The gameplay was a lot of fun. I just, once again, it's one of these games I had a blast playing, you know what I mean? I beat the game about 3 times. I still don't have my Platinum Trophy. Like, I need to go back for a 4th one and actually finally get that. But apart from that, also a game I put like 30 hours into in total, I would pretty much say, and a game that you definitely need to play, because my god, was that a very fun game. Ratchet & Clank on the PlayStation 4, make sure to try it out. So, yeah, with that being said, this was my top 5 games of 2016, the ones I enjoyed the most. You know, I wrote down some honorable mentions like Watch Dogs 2 I really liked. I mean, Unravel was cool. Inside, Modern Warfare Remastered I had a good time with. I was even surprised in some way by Street Fighter 5, which was my first fighting game that I really got into, and you know, Dark Souls 3 was a big game that I actually liked quite a bit, even though I didn't think that the Souls games would really be for me, but it sure was. And like I said, my number 1 I'm going to keep for a Game of the Year video. It's not going to be very hard for you to guess it all, so I hope you can kind of understand and you know, respect in that way that I'm not sharing that one yet in this video. But with that being said, yeah, it's going to be a really cool video that I will specifically dedicate to my Game of the Year 2016, so look forward to that. And then for now, I hope you enjoyed my list. Let me know, of course, your list in the comments. What were the 5 games that you yourself enjoyed the most in 2016? And then with that being said, yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Leave a quick like if you enjoyed the video, helps my channel out a lot. And then I hope to see you again next time.